The Niger military administration has proceeded with its instruction and sent a police to expel the French ambassador forcefully. Hello, I am Mahlet Ayele, your host at Connect Africa. So, as you know, the Niger military administration has given a 48-hour ultimatum to the French ambassador, which he has ignored, and that is a week ago. And then now they have revoked his immunity, diplomatic immunity, and also his family members. Still, nothing is happening. The French, the headquarters have continued to reject and not to recognize the military administration of Niger, which has been by now more than a month. And they say they still support the ousted President Bazoum, and the actions that are going to be taken by ECOWAS, because ECOWAS also fails to recognize the military administration. But what you have to know is ECOWAS is playing double, because ECOWAS is sending elders to talk to the military administration, and negotiations are going on behind the back door. It's just that ECOWAS or Bola Tinubu of Nigeria not coming and telling us what they're doing, and still, saying the forces are standby anytime it can cross the border of Niger. All that is a talk. They know exactly how the people react, meaning the African people will react to that military intervention. But now, so the military administration has waited for more than a week, and they have sent to search they have sent their police to the French embassy in Niamey, searching all vehicles that are coming out and coming in the embassy. But the funny thing is now France has reacted, and what they said is their troops in Niamey, don't forget that 1,500 troops, French army, are in Niger, and including in Niamey as well, in the capital. So they said they are ready to react if the military or police of a Niger government crosses inside or steps inside the embassy of France in Niamey. So that is how, as far as their arrogance go. Let's just hear what a French analyst says with regards to that when he was talking to one of the news channels. Listen to this.
Well, Paris sees this as an opportunity to show it is committed to what it describes as the legitimate president in Niger. It's also saying it's committed to any ECOWAS proposal that might undo the coup that has happened. So for Paris, it's important not to adhere to any demands of the government it sees as illegitimate. And this is part of that by keeping its ambassador in place, as well, of course, as the French military in Niger as well. 1,500 troops, in a statement from the French army on Thursday, said it was ready to respond to any upturn intention that could harm the French diplomatic and military premises in Niger. France saying that it's ready to protect that embassy should troops try to enter to remove that ambassador by force. But the latest from the Elysee is that the ambassador will remain until the correct president is back in power. Indeed, there's no sign that the military junta would attempt to remove the ambassador by force, and France is making a statement by leaving the ambassador there. If we look at a reasonably similar situation in Burkina Faso, it took around 3 to 4 weeks before eventually France did give in to government demands from the leaders of the coup d'etat to eventually recall that ambassador. So this isn't by any means the final word.
So you have heard that what he said. Yeah, sorry about that, but you have heard what he said. So options are on the table. if Niger military steps in the embassy of France in Niamey, those option of a French military, which is now in Niamey, they have been there ever since expelled from Mali and Burkina Faso. They just moved and got a next place, meaning Niger. This ousted President Bazoum, have given them a place, and it's also there's also AFRICOM, the American troops. It's all kinds of. I mean, in Niger, if you really see the number of countries that have troops in Niger, you think that does this country even a sovereign country? There is a troops of the AFRICOM. They have the largest U.S. drone base in Africa, that is in Niger. It's located in Niger. The French army, all which are expelled from Mali and Burkina Faso a year ago, they came to Niger and they have given a place. The EU as a bloc has a military. Italy has a military. Germany has a military. Canada has a military. That country is, it's like it doesn't have any owner. I mean, it's just crazy. So what he's saying is, the other key thing from what the man said is that the same experience when Mali and Burkina Faso expelled its ambassador, France's ambassador, they have been like this. So I think it took 3 or 4 weeks for France to give in and finally to evacuate its ambassador. So it has been more than a week or close to 10 days since that ultimatum is given, and the French government repeatedly failed its headquarters. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, the president himself, President Macron, came out and said they will not recognize it, and they supported the stay of the ambassador despite the instruction from the military administration of Niger. And then EU, also the European Union, has backed the move and supported the stay of the French ambassador in Niger. I really do not understand. I mean, you are given a person non grata, and this is legally supported. This action is legally supported by the Vienna Convention of the 1961. The host country can issue a person non grata to a diplomat of a guest country. Then all you have to do is to leave. I mean, simple. So it's a very sticky situation where really Niger, I have been saying this, Niger has to see this carefully. It's to provoke Niger so that it gives a ground for France to attack Niger, because the military interventions they have been expecting so far from ECOWAS is not happening. ECOWAS is buying time. ECOWAS knows exactly what the African people are saying. ECOWAS, who is led by the president of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, even from his own country, there's a lot of opposition. So he knows he's just trying to play not to disappoint his foreign powers, the US and the France and all the Western allies, and at the same time not to disappoint his people within the country. And then there are members of ECOWAS. Within ECOWAS itself, there is a division. Yeah, so that being said, let's see to our next topic today, where ECOWAS actually now, there has been a pressure from France and its Western allies, especially the European Union, who have cut their aid and everything to Niger. Now, why so far ECOWAS is not doing the military intervention. So guess what? Our second topic is ECOWAS has sent a mission to Spain, to European Union. Yeah, I hear you, Cor. Where exactly that ambassador should be? In the embassy of France in Niger, in Niamey. That's what I think. I mean, now that you provoke an next question, let me go to my second topic. So ECOWAS has sent its mission to European Union. Guess what? To ask a support from European Union to in its ongoing talking and whatever with the military administration in Niger, and in terms of reinstating the ousted president of Niger. I mean, How it just Bola Tinubu do not stop surprising us. I mean, I am speechless. We have been all saying African solutions to African problems. How could you send a mission to European Union to request a support? What kind of a disgrace is that? What kind of degrading is that? We have been appreciating, although, Bola Tinubu is coming and saying, oh, our forces are standby, but still allowing to continue those negotiations, sending elders to the military administration in Niger. But now, guess what? You are sent to your colonial masters to request what kind of support. European Union wants ECOWAS to do that to carry out that military intervention and reinstate the president. And they know they cannot do it because they want it to be done by the African military. Yeah, so let us hear. I really would like to bring this video to you so that you listen to those the delegates who are sent on behalf of ECOWAS are saying on their press briefing upon their arrival in Spain to talk to European Union. Just allow me to share this. Listen to this.
My visit this afternoon is to explain our position to the European Union, what has informed the various measures that ECOWAS has taken, and the collaboration we seek from all our partners. As you know, the world is a global village. One event in a particular place affects the whole world. So that is why we find it important to come to Spain to talk to our partners from the European Union so that they understand what we're doing and give us the support that they are able to give us.
ECOWAS has imposed.
Okay, so you have seen, you have heard what that delegate on behalf of ECOWAS is saying to ask for the support our partners. I mean, in all this, I am asking, where is the African Union? Why ECOWAS is one regional body under the African Union? Okay, just like we have for the North, for the Eastern African Community, for the Central African Community, for the Southern SADC as well. Where is the African Union? You all remember the African Union of the Peace and Security Council has had a meeting like maybe a week ago and couldn't come to an agreement. So they finished the meeting without having a joint statement because there was a division. There was member states that were opposing the military intervention by ECOWAS. So now they know the status of the African Union. So you shall pass and go to the EU. Where? Who is the EU? What is the interest of the EU? I mean, ECOWAS, I always say this jokingly, but it's true. It's an echo of US, the echo of the Western voice, particularly in this. They might have done very good in terms of economic. That's why they are set up in terms. First of all, it's an economic communities for the Western African countries. But this is really failing the continent. It's really a disgrace. It's very shameful what you have done to yourself as ECOWAS, what you have done to the African people. You ask support for what? There are negotiations going on. Why you send a delegate to the Europe? Or is it all, it has to do saving the face of Bola Tinubu, who, in the start was saying that it's going to send militaries, this has to end, this and that. Are you trying to save one man's face? and in that, put all the African people at shame. Yeah, that's really, I will just leave it there. But hopefully the African Union will come. I mean, leaders, you have to start to, there are African leaders who we know that who are against this military intervention. So you have to come out and talk. You have to come out and talk. There are many African people who will support you, who will be behind you. You better stop, playing at the expense of the African people. I mean, our elders are doing the best, so they have to continue, these elders, to talk to the military administration in Niger and bring ultimately also to talk to the people of Niger, because that is the main thing. And the last thing, it should be, at the end, what should be done is in the interest of the people of Niger. That's it. Yeah. So that is as far as this action taken by ECOWAS that I have to say. It's really, really, really disgraceful. Yeah, it's a shame. Now, let's go to the third topic for this morning that I want to bring to you. 2 days ago, as we have, the whole world has observed another French, who used to be a French colony in Africa, Gabon, has had a coup, and the military has taken a power. And on Wednesday, following that coup, African leaders like Paul Biya of Cameroon and Paul Kagame of Rwanda have reshuffled their military. It's few hours right after the coup. Okay, now let me just something about this. I'm going to share this slide with you while I talk about them. Look, Paul Kagame this is Paul Kagame, and then the very old one, it's Paul Biya of Cameroon. Paul Biya is 90 years old. You heard me. He's 90 years old. Kagame is 63 years old. Okay. Now, so let's start with Rwanda. Okay. Paul Kagame, he has reshuffled. He has retired 83 military personnel, including 12 generals. And amongst those generals, the one you see now in the picture, those ranking the highest in the country, who served previously as chief of staff and the defense minister, also are in that 12 generals who have been retired, and other 83 military personnel. Okay, this is a major action that has been taken few hours after the coup in Gabon. Yeah, and Paul Kagame, another thing is that he was in power since 2000. Okay, he is in power since 2000, and in 2015 he has amended the constitution of Rwanda that allows him to stay in power until 2034. So far, he has been in power for 23 years. We are from 2000 to 2023, but the constitution is amended in 2015 for him to stay until 2034. This is as far as our leaders can go. Now, we have to say also, we have to give him a credit that belongs to him. I mean, Rwanda has, after it get out of that genocide war, he has transformed the country, and he is imagined as a visionary leader in Rwanda and also in Africa. He has he has made his footprints. But the thing is, you are not successful until you have a successor. that comes in your footsteps, then you are successful. Then because you created a leader like you. So that is something that I want you to note. Now, let's go to Paul Biya of Cameroon. Look at him. He's 90 years old. He is in power since 1982. He's in power now for 42 years. Okay? Now, he's still reshuffling his military with in his Twitter, in the Twitter of the Cameroon Ministry of Defense, decree appointing officials to the Ministry of Defense. So he has just appointed personnel at the internal and external services of the Ministry of Defense of Cameroon. For what? Can even Paul Biya of Cameroon survive another term in the country with this age? He can't. The man can't even walk. What happened, if all you remember, in the US Africa summit? He didn't even know where he was. You can see, mistakenly, you hear he was asking his assistant, who walked him to the sitting place to make a speech. He was asking him, am I a celebrity now? Where am I? What a disgrace. And he always walk with assistants. He don't even know what he's doing. Now, that news are coming from Cameroon. His son is prepared or dressed to take that dynasty, power from his father. Okay? We have in Africa, we have the real emperors kingdom we have had, but also we have our political dynasties where leaders do not leave power until they die, and they prepare their sons to take power, or daughters to take power when they die. That's called the political. It's not a monarchical country, but you do your own thing, and you have political dynasty. That is in Africa. So Paul Biya he knows that he wouldn't survive even another term because of his age. He's 90 years old, but he has a son to take his power. So he don't want to leave power until he died. And this man, let me tell you, he is the road man. He's known as the road man in Cameroon. Okay, because you know why? He's almost absent the whole year. If you count the days that he's present or the months he's present in the country, he's almost absent. He's always in France. He's somewhere in Europe, mostly in Paris, with Madame Chantal, of his first lady. Actually, I remember, a friend of mine, when I was working at the African Union at some point, who told me, she's from Cameroon, and she said, actually, for a country, it's a news when the president leaves. In Cameroon, it's a news when the president comes back to the country. That's how he's known. And it's a war-raged country between the so-called Anglophone and Francophone in Cameroon. But still, he wants to continue in power, even at 90 years old. And guess what? Those who are getting the benefit from him will make sure they keep him in power. That will keep him in power. Those are, through election or whatever, those are what we call silent coups in the continent. That you don't hear ECOWAS talking about, that you don't hear the African Union talking about, that you don't hear France or EU talking about. But when a people-driven coup happens in African country, then you hear those countries opening their mouths and talking against those coup leaders. Well, Those are, the three topics I wanted to bring you. That the military administration in Niger has started to search vehicles that are, they have sent their police searching. Now the police is searching cars that are coming out and going in the embassy of France in Niamey, and then the the ECOWAS disgraceful action of sending delegation to ask support from the European Union, while we are saying African solution to African problems, while African Union is popularizing and supporting African solutions to African problems. You are fooling us. For how long you continue to do like this? What a joke. What a joke. What does EU has to do with it? Go send your delegation to talk to the people on the street in Niger. What do they want? First and foremost, your accountability is to the people of ECOWAS, and Niger is a member in ECOWAS. That's what you have to do. Don't talk to the military administration if you don't want. Talk to the people. What do they want? Ask them. You go to the European Union. You all know what the European Union wants from you. Yeah, so that was the second topic. The third topic is Rwanda and Cameroon reshuffling their military following the coup in Gabon. Tightening the security in the country, so that, there are also others whom we don't hear, who are currently reshuffling and shaking because of what's happening in West Africa and Central Africa. Let us know your view about all this in the comment section. Okay, I quickly go through your chats if there is any question. Thank you all for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video if you find it informative, insightful. All right, that will help us to reach as many people as possible. This is a Pan-African platform, unapologetically a Pan-African platform. We are here to bring you an anti-imperialist perspective, a Pan-African perspective. What's happening in the continent, what is happening globally that affects the continent. That's where we come and give it a Pan-African perspective. Before they take the narration, they create their own narrative and, feed you in the mainstream media with their propaganda. So please subscribe and become a member and a family of Connect Africa. And you can also write us, suggest us a topic, as you all are tuned through, from different parts of the world. Tell us what's happening. So we do our research and we bring it to you. So thank you really for everyone who has tuned in at this hour with me to listen this. Okay, so yeah, I hear you, Mustafa, Corey, Muwima, Ronald, Lima, Bim, P Mystery, Al Atentunka. Yeah, hello, greetings. Atentunka said the leaders of ECOWAS and AU are obviously puppets of the Western colonizers. The EU and US are only in Africa to steal the natural resources. I agree and I disagree, because we cannot just say that AU and abandon it. It's an organization first and foremost for the citizens of Africans. We have to keep on talking for the AU. Eventually, for now, what they have is just the heads of states who are not doing their job. But if the people, continue to make their voice and, revolt, eventually also they will change. We have to keep on talking and, organize, mobilize. That is the thing. African Union are toothless bulldogs. I mean, at least they didn't do any joint statement or they did not back the military intervention. So there is something we cannot just discredit and disregard what African Union. I mean, I disagree with that because African Union is mine. I'm an African citizen. I cannot just abandon it. It is the biggest Pan-African organization of the continent. You cannot just leave it like that. Oh, it's serving for the Western. No, claim it. Claim it. That's what you have to do. King Kenyatta, the European Union are allies to the, yeah, for sure. You're so right, it's another, but King Kenyatta, we are seeing the difference between a politician and a liberation in real times. Yeah. Salute, yes, salute Kabuda, Iyad Jilan, very shameful for the Africans. They are depending on Europe. Yeah, very shameful, disgraceful. That's the word. Paul Kagame is a war criminal Western move. Being a third party henchman has never been a commendable virtue. In my opinion, ECOWAS is a shameful practical example of Western. Yeah, ECOWAS really needs to be told what they are doing is very shameful. People has to really mobilize and show their opposition to their action. CFA is a French tool to keep colonialism. Michael Lewan, hello, Joko. Agree it is a popular desire for a revolution, but to be a real revolution, you need mass popular organization with trusted leadership and a transitional program. To be a literary organ. Africa needs to follow the blueprint of Haitian revolution. You have to get rid of the sellouts first. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso is on the right track. Yeah, by the way, don't fall for the coup in Gabon. It's we have brought it in our, we did an analysis in our live stream, also briefing that this is something, yeah, it's just a power within a family. The coup leader now he's a cousin of the ousted president. So don't fall for that. And in all this, the US is quite. Yeah, Black Magic said, wow, that was a shocking video. Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing why the transatlantic slave trade was possible, because Africans collaborated with the enemy and sold out Africa. Hello, Emma. Yeah, good to see you again here. Nigeria surrounded by military bases, 6 countries, 8 before. Yeah. So Nigeria, I mean, Bola Tinubu has to watch. I mean, Nigeria have some of the smartest people in the world, really. And all Nigerians so far, from what we have read and heard, they are against this military intervention in Niger. They don't support Bola Tinubu in this. So Bola Tinubu, better listen to your own people. You are sitting on a shaking seat, really. Yeah, so please go and subscribe. Okay, I'm sure some of you who are tuned here are not subscribed, which I'm happy that you are here. Please come again. But if you subscribe, it will help our YouTube algorithm. So please subscribe, give it a like, and share if you find this information relevant and insightful. Share it with your network. Don't keep the knowledge, the information only to yourself. Let's empower each other with this Pan-African voice, with this knowledge. That was it for us until we will meet again in our live streaming. So don't forget to tune in and subscribe, and then hit that notification bell, so whenever we have new videos or a live stream is scheduled, then you can you can be notified. Thank you again, and have a blessed start of the weekend. Bye bye.